Good morning. I'm MJ from Linus Publications, and I was going to do a session on the Virginia governorship, and I was going to sort of, do it all in one session, but then I started seeing things in Virginia's state charts that deserves its own little session here. And we're going to be looking at three charts. We're going to be looking at the natal chart. We're going to be looking at the progression, and we're going to be looking at the solar arc. And again, this is for Virginia. And I will be following up with the charts of the two candidates for governor. Now, first off, Virginia, this is sort of an off year. Some states have off years for governors. So this November, they're going to have they will have an election for the governor and other state officials. And what I thought would be just sort of a simple, okay, let's see where they're going to be aiming. When I looked at the Virginia chart, instead I'm seeing, I'm seeing Pluto in conjunct Mars, and I'm seeing Uranus square Mars. Not great. Let's take Uranus square Mars first. That's going to be happening right around the beginning of September. That's September 7th. Now, again, I don't have exact dates for the birth of Virginia, so that means that could be off quite a bit. But Uranus, again, change, explosives, Mars, aggression, when it's in a tense angle. So in this case, this is sort of saying some explosive tension going on in the state, unpredictable use of power. And Uranus is also thought of as freedom, Mars, aggression. So this could be a challenge to authority, because Mars is sometimes likened to a state's military or possibly the federal government. So this definitely looks like there might be protests, there might be some type of civil unrest. But more concerning is that when we move to Pluto in conjunct Mars, this is happening around the end of September when it's going backwards, but then it goes forwards, and it ends up happening right around 11/3, which the election date is 11/4. In this case, Mars is military. What do we have? We have power pushing on the military. This almost seems like someone's going to be putting military on the streets right around the election period. Power plays because of Pluto here. This also could be executive overreach. And also, it could be an indication of a federal government and a state government clash. So it's hard to tell exactly what that would be at this time. But it's not trivial. It may be that nothing comes of it. And another way to look at this is that Pluto is the power, it's demanding something. In this case, it's an inconjunct, which is a break and adjust. Mars doesn't want to give it. So in effect, you can think of Mars resisting here. So a lot of connotations here. Let's take a look at the progression. Progression doesn't get much better. There's a lot of pieces here, but they're not sort of at about this time, so we're not going to touch on them. I'm going to touch on one. Mars is conjuncting Pluto. In this case, Mars is, think of it as the will of the people, and it's moving against what? The power, foundations. So in effect, the power structures that exist. This could be an indication of crowds coming up, confrontations. So this, again, because in the previous one, we had Mars being touched on by Pluto. Now we have Mars touching on Pluto. Let's move to the next one, which is a solar arc. In this case, what we have is, we've got Mars again. Mars is over here. And what it's doing is it is squaring Uranus. disruption. Mars here is the aggression. Uranus is against what? In this case, probably a lack of freedom. Because Uranus is the freedom, the independence in your chart, and Mars here clashing is going to either try to get that or try to limit the state's ability to do that. So in this case, Uranus, rebellion, freedom, all indications of some type of civil unrest. Now, this is not happening directly at the period of the elections. This is actually 26, 28. It's about, a year and a half or so away. Yeah, about there. So this is indicating it's not a quick process. It's not quick. But more concerning is the fact that we have something happening right around the election period. Again, that could be off quite a bit because I don't have the times of birth. Now, we will come back and look at the candidates, but this is pretty important. So it could indicate that we're going to have military on the streets in Virginia, in addition to having it in D.C. Now, is it the National Guard that's called out from that state, or is it called out, or is it military called out from the administration, the White House administration? Now, as a note, Virginia is part of the early states in the Union. There will be many states that also have configurations similar to Virginia's. A little different, but it could be many of the states that were involved in the original founding could be impacted by some of these same things I'm seeing here. Maybe not, but we'll take a look at some point. Hope you have a good day. And I will be back later sometime to do the 2 candidates for the governor. Bye now.